Hi everyone, my name is Herkeph and welcome back to my incredibly stupid hardcore world where I am only allowed to use wooden tools and leather armor. In last week's episode, we managed to start making some progress on our new base where we built a giant circle in the middle of an ocean, and today we're going to continue making as much progress on our base as possible so that it isn't just a big circle in the middle of the ocean, which is, at the moment, rather useless. So to start us off, I did what every Minecraft player enjoys the most about the game: gather dirt. And once we had collected a decent amount of dirt, I fired up the replay mod where I got to work filling in our man-made island. Now that was a rather long time lapse. However, it took significantly longer for me. In that last minute and a half of this video, I spent over 7.5 hours of constant block placing, and we are still far from being done. It is at times like this I start questioning all of my life choices, but I digress, and in an attempt to have an average IQ, I decided to use as much powdered concrete as possible in place of hardened concrete. That way, I won't have to use our concrete converter that uses a lot of TNT. And yes, I am well aware that I can build a concrete converter that is more TNT efficient, but both my IQ and motivation are significantly too low for that. So I am now stuck moisturizing this concrete powder in a very peasant-like fashion. But after a bit of concrete moisturizing, I once again got back to placing more dirt. And after a monstrous amount of dirt placing we have completed in this episode so far, I decided to actually make an entrance into the center platform that we had built, and add a staircase to actually get up on top of the platform. I did build it out of white concrete, but in all honesty, I was too lazy to try to make it look good, so I simply went for it, and let this become a problem for future Herkeph. And because of stuff like this, I'm sure that guy hates me at this point. And in between clips, I have also put down a footprint to help me construct the actual structure that will go on top of my center platform. That way, I made sure that I placed everything in the center, which was a very rare smart move from my part. So I then got to constructing the main structure of my new base. However, that was rather short-lived, as I quickly realized that I had grossly underestimated the amount of white concrete I needed to build my base. so I had to take a break to fly back and forth between the desert and my raid farm to collect a ton of sand. This was, as you can imagine, a very fun task. I then dropped by my gold farm to pick up some more gravel and got to the even more fun task of crafting all of the white concrete. I then came to the rude realization that I had completely run out of TNT for my concrete converter and had to go AFK at my mob farm. But my AFK session did yield quite a decent amount of gunpowder, which I used instantly to make more TNT to use at my concrete converter. And after spending even more time AFK, this time at my concrete converter, I had managed to accumulate some white concrete. But the material gathering didn't stop there, because I had almost completely run out of Saiyan terracotta as well. So I had to spend some time getting myself some blue and green dye and crafting up all of the Saiyan terracotta. But after this brief interruption, I once again got back to building my base. And now the main structure of my base is pretty close to being completed. However, for the next part of this project, I decided to start making paths that I could walk on outside of the main platform. I am not entirely sure why I prioritized this, as I will most probably not use it that much, but here we are, and since I enjoy making my life significantly harder than it needs to be, I decided to build the path out of smooth stone. which I had to collect and smelt a bunch of stone for. But after a brief stone gathering mission, I had managed to get my hands on a rather puny amount of smooth stone. So I started marking out the shape of the walkway, using frog lights to then come in with the smooth stone later. I originally wanted to do another circle, but I decided that I couldn't be bothered making any more circles. I.e., I am a very lazy young man, therefore I decided to make the walkway a hexagon instead. I did make some decent progress on the walkway, but I unfortunately ran out of smooth stone, so I took a step back to see how everything was looking and noticed that the base looked rather bare. I was honestly not entirely sure how to fix that, so I decided to once again be lazy and just plant a ton of cherry trees to add some more color. However, after planting all of the cherry trees, I realized that I had essentially turned the entire man-made island into a mob farm. So I started running around placing lanterns on the trees to stop all of the unwanted guests from spawning. And once that small issue had been dealt with, I thought it might be a good idea to make my newly built base at least somewhat habitable. So I decided to start dealing with the interior of the top floor. But that is all the time we have for this week, so there we have it. The 6th episode of my incredibly stupid hardcore world. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you in the next one, where we will hopefully make this place a tiny bit more habitable and functional.